Good morning, everybody. Good morning, members of Labor, Health, and Social Services Committee. It's good to see everybody, especially after a late night of working in the House chambers. Good morning, Mr. Caldwell, and welcome to our LSO intern, Ms. Boysen, who joined us from Park County as well. So, and members of the public, good morning, welcome. We will go ahead I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Mr. Caldwell, if you would call the roll.
Representative Clouston.
Here.
Representative Guggenmoss. Representative Heft. Representative McCann.
Here.
Representative Ottman.
Here.
Representative Thayer.
Here.
Representative Wasserberger.
Here.
Representative Yen.
Here.
Chairman Rodriguez Williams.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Well, for those in the audience that are joining us this morning and those that are joining us online, our meeting does have some rules of decorum. The decorum rules are outside of the meeting room. I'll just go through a few of them. Members of the committee and those members of the public, please silence your phones. I would ask that all of your comments be directed to the issue under discussion by the committee. No distracting comments or unrelated side issues can take place. They'll be called out of order. I also ask that anybody that provides testimony, whether in person or online, avoid any personal criticism, ridicule, or name calling directed at anybody in attendance at the meeting. And please refrain from any disruptive behavior. If there is anything, any disorderly conduct, you'll be called out of order by the chair. So we'll go ahead and begin our meeting. We have two bills on the agenda today. The first bill that we're going to deal with is House Bill 28. And then the second bill will be House Bill 30. So at this time, what did I say? Oh, sorry, 80. My apologies. I better get my reading glasses. Okay, so House Bill 28 is now on the table for consideration. And we have the bill sponsor, Representative Strzok. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you would go ahead and walk us through your bill.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. This is a short bill, and it seeks to define more clearly the crime of sexual exploitation of children by amending the definition of a term, explicit sexual conduct. The definition of the term currently includes the lascivious expedition of the genitals and public area of any individual. My bill would amend this by including the chest or breasts of females. So this is actually what Bill had last year and pretty much got it through every aspect, and it just didn't get heard in the Senate on the Senate floor. So here it is again. And we had the investigator in Douglas in Converse County. He brought this to me a couple of years ago. And what happened is in this statute, it does not list the chest or breast of a female. Everything else is listed except this. So they had a case where a gentleman, well, I shouldn't call him a gentleman, but anyway, he had pictures of his stepdaughter on his phone. And he was not convicted because of it not listing that part of this girl. So this is all it is. It's just to change that, get that in the books, add a few words. And so I would, and also this would not criminalize breastfeeding photos or bath time. When we really dug into it, that was someone thought, well, maybe that's why they didn't add that. But we all know there's a difference between it, and that's why the lascivious part of it is in there. So I just ask for favorable consideration of this so we can get this in the books and stop some of this from happening to our children. So any questions?
Thank you, Representative Strzok. Committee, any questions of Representative Strzok regarding the bill? Okay, we're a quiet bunch. Thank you, Representative Strzok. Don't go far. In case there's any questions from the committee later on. Thank you. All right, is there any government agencies that would like to come up and testify on House Bill 28? Okay, seeing none, we'll open it up to members of the public. Got 3 chairs up here, so please come forward if you'd like to testify. Good morning, sir. If you'd state your name, who you're with, and we'd love to hear your testimony.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Alan Thompson with the Wyoming Association of Sheriffs and Chiefs of Police. I'll just be very brief in that we're in support of this. We see this type of language in other things like municipal ordinance. So it's not out of the realm. It helps clear up that absence of those specific areas of the body, and it does cover both chest and breast. So that makes it easier for prosecution, and we would be supportive of this concept moving forward to help us with our investigations. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Committee, any questions of Mr. Thompson? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name and we'll hear your testimony.
Good morning, Chairwoman, members of the committee. My name is Patricia McCoy, and I am here representing all of the Wyoming chapters of Moms for Liberty. I am here today in strong support of House Bill 28. The protection of children is not a partisan issue. It's a moral obligation. Parents are the first and fiercest defenders of their children, but parents cannot stand alone. They deserve to have a full strength and clarity of the Wyoming law standing beside them, especially when it comes to protecting their children from sexual exploitation. House Bill 28 strengthens existing law by bringing clarity where clarity is needed. When definitions are vague, loopholes are created. And when language is imprecise, predators benefit, as the bringer of the bill previously mentioned. This bill reinforces Wyoming's commitment to protecting children by ensuring the law clearly reflects conduct that exploits minors. It does not create new crimes. It strengthens the framework already in place so that it can function as intended, equipping law enforcement, prosecutors, and courts with the clarity they need to act decisively. Parents deserve the confidence that if their child is harmed, the law is equipped to respond without ambiguity. Strong protection in law depends on firm boundaries and careful drafting. HB 28 helps ensure Wyoming statutes remain enforceable, consistent, and centered on safeguarding innocence. Wyoming children deserve the highest level of protection. Wyoming parents deserve the strength of the law on their side. And for these reasons, we respectfully request that you support House Bill 28. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy. Committee, any questions of Ms. McCoy? Okay, seeing none, thank you for joining us. Any further public comment? Okay. Mr. Caldwell, do we have anybody online?
Someone just joined the meeting.
Okay, if they can raise their hand and let them in. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning. Please state your name and who you're with, and we'll hear your testimony on House Bill 28.
Okay. My apologies. My technical skills sometimes are lagging. And is the video on? Can you see me or only hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, ma'am. We can see you and hear you.
Oh, good. Because I'm not getting that video screen, you know, that normally shows yourself. My name is Sylvia Hackle. I'm the Laramie County District Attorney, and I'm here on behalf of the Wyoming County and Prosecuting Attorneys Association. We have, during our meetings and text messages, discussed this bill, and we support it and urge its passage. We appreciate the additional detailed explanation of what constitutes the crime in the statute. And the reason that's important is that in the law, sometimes if a bill says only A, B, and C, and you charge a defendant with D, which is, you know, part and parcel of the same conduct, but D isn't mentioned in the statute, a defendant will say, well, if the legislature wanted to make that a crime, they would have added it. So this bill will, I don't know that we've had lots of problems with that, but this bill will help, and we encourage its passage. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, any questions of Ms. Hackle? Okay, seeing none, ma'am, thank you for joining us this morning and for your
Thank you.
testimony. All right. Any further public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment on House Bill 28. Committee, what is your pleasure? The bill's been moved by Vice Chair Ottman, second by Representative Gugamas. Discussion amendments. Representative Thayer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question to the bringer of the bill for a friendly amendment, page 2, line 7. Thoughts on taking the word female out? That way it's broader, because I think about young men or the so it would read or the chest or breasts of a person. I didn't know if how you felt about that. I just thought there are young men out there that are getting exploited too. Thoughts?
Chairman,
Representative.
thank you. I would rather leave it as it is, only because I've spent a long time with the investigator and others on what would be best, and that hasn't been a problem, and leaving it with the female. I guess if we had some other testimonies, maybe from some attorneys or prosecutors, maybe would help this. But last year when we went through this was just, it was talked about in great lengths, actually in the other body. And that was pretty much, we left it with that, so. But I think that would be you all's call too. I mean, if you feel, and maybe everyone else has some thoughts on that.
Okay, committee or follow-up, Representative
Yes.
Thayer?
Then I would withdraw my friendly amendment.
Thank you, Representative Thayer. Further comments we're back on the bill discussion or amendments? Question being called. Okay, Representative or Mr. Caldwell, if you'd call the roll on House Bill
Maybe some.
28.
This is a roll call vote for House Bill 28. Representative Clausen.
Aye.
Representative Guggenmoss.
Aye.
Representative Heft.
Aye.
Representative McCann. Representative Ottman.
Aye.
Representative Thayer.
Aye.
Representative Wasserberger.
Aye.
Representative again.
Aye.
Chairman Rodriguez Williams.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, that is 9 ayes.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Committee House Bill 28 has passed. If there's anybody that would like to carry that bill on the, well, actually the bill sponsor will carry it on the floor. It's not a committee bill. Boy, I need to drink some more coffee here. Okay. Moving on, House Bill 80 is now on the table for consideration. This bill sponsored by Representative Jarvis. Good morning, Representative Jarvis. Thank you for joining us. If you'd go ahead and introduce your bill and walk us through it.
Good morning, Ms. Chairman. Thank you. And thank you, committee, for the opportunity today. I'd like to also introduce Misty Zimmerman, the program manager of YDOT. She's here to help answer any questions that you may have in regards to this bill. House Bill 80 is the act related to identification cards, authorizing the renewal of identification cards by residents of nursing care facilities and assisted living facilities without appearing in person as specified, specifying limitations on the renewal and identification card, requiring rulemaking and providing for an effective date. So what this bill does is it allows people who are in nursing homes and assisted living facilities to be able to renew their IDs. This is not a driver's license. This is their ID. And What we've done is we've taken the Wyoming laws, which only allow this to occur for 8 years, and we've extended it to the federal to meet federal requirements and all real ID requirements to 16 years. So it's just moving it back to extend that date so that this is allowable up to that timeframe. Why? This has directly impacted my father, and I'm going to take a wild guess that if it's impacting my father, that it's impacting several people in Wyoming. If this bill does not go through, it will limit my father's ability, or I mean, it will prevent my father from being able to vote in this next election. There's a lot of discussion on the fact that nursing homes can transport people to DMV. My question, I guess, to you guys is, and what we've also run into is because my father has had a stroke and it is very painful for him to be upright. But it doesn't limit his ability, because I assure you, if you walk into his room, he's either watching old Westerns or the news. So is very aware of what goes on. I hear about the political world probably far more than I would like when I speak to him. But I would just ask for your favorable consideration. We do have a couple amendments that I am going to ask Ms. Zimmerman to present to you, just so that this bill completely falls under the Real ID Act.
Ms. Zimmerman, welcome.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Committee, my name is Misty Zimmerman. I'm the Program Manager for YDOT Driver Services. Thank you for letting me take the time to walk through this bill and to give you a few amendments that we've looked at. As the bill sits, our program has no issue with how it is going to be facilitated. We believe that it will be similar to how you can renew your driver's license through the mail for those individuals. We do appreciate the fact that we are, because of the 16 years, we're allowed to talk through some of these amendments with you. So as it sits on page 4, and I believe you have a copy of the proposed amendments, and apologies for the handwritten amendment. On page 4, line 4, simply adding the words, unless that photo taken by the department is more than 16 years old. And you'll notice at the bottom below, there is requirements under the Real ID Act, titles or 6 CFR 37.25A1 says that the photo must be taken in person by the department every 16 years. So we were concerned a little bit about 2 times, because if I take it in person and then they're allowed to, that's the first time, the first renewal is at 8 years. The second renewal that's allowable by this bill takes us into 16 years, and that person doesn't have to come in to take that photo. And the law requires they have to be in person to take that photo after 16 years. So that's the first amendment. And then also, as we were walking through, I'll go back a bit to page 3. On lines 17 through 19, it talks about furnishing documentary evidence necessary for any material changes. And then on page 4, lines 6 through 9, it says that you can't make any changes. So we want to make sure that the allowable changes require documentary proof, changing your address, right? So if you move from a facility to a different facility, changing your donor designation, changing your medical alert, those types of things are allowable changes that would be in this bill. Things that are not allowed would be, which is my handwriting, and I'm sorry, on line 8, to insert after the word the personally identifiable information. So you can't change your name through the mail. So those are the 2 amendments that we would request that you consider. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Committee, any questions of the bill sponsor or the department? Okay, seeing none, thank you. All right, are there any government agencies that would like to come forward on the bill? Okay, go ahead and open it up for public comment. If you plan on testifying, come on up. Good morning, gentlemen. If you state your name and who you're with, then we'll hear your testimony.
Madam Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Sam Shumway. I'm the State Director for AARP Wyoming. And first I want to say that we appreciate this bill tremendously. AARP, one of the things that we track is these voter bills, and our focus is almost always around disenfranchising, I lost my name tag, our concerns about disenfranchising older voters. Whether it's requiring someone who hasn't driven for many years to have a driver's license. And, you know, there are opportunities, as we know, for them to get a photo ID. But I want to commend the sponsor and the bringers of this bill for their thoughtful and tailored approach to an issue that is very real. We stand in support of this bill, full support of this bill. And I guess my comments are, I just appreciate when we're really thoughtful and targeted in how we solve real world problems. And this is a real world problem. People are in nursing homes, are in long-term care facilities, and they may not be able to. It may be extremely difficult or dangerous, or they may just simply not be able to get out to the DMV to renew their driver's license or their state ID. And so this solves that problem. And so we appreciate it. And that's my only comment. We stand in support and stand for any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Mr. Shumway. Committee, any questions of AARP? Seeing none, thank you, sir, for your testimony. Please go ahead.
Morning, Madam Chairman, committee members, Eric Boley. I'm president of the Wyoming Long-Term Care Association, which is a new name to you. You may not be aware, but over the last 2 years, we've been working on combining and uniting all of the nursing homes in the state. We now have one long-term care association, which will represent all 35 nursing homes in the state. And so I'm here in support of this bill. Grateful for Representative Jarvis bringing it forward. I think it's super important. And just wanted to assure the committee that in our nursing homes, we're trying to provide the best quality of life that we can. And voting is a fundamental right that each individual is given under the Constitution for our citizens. And we want them to be able to exercise that right and that freedom. We do all we can in our nursing homes to make sure that they can exercise that right and that freedom. But we do have residents that really have difficulty or cannot get out. They're bedridden, other ailments or physical conditions that make it impossible. So we really think that this would provide better quality of life and give them that opportunity. We promise that we will continue to offer every resource we have to those that want to go and renew their ID in person. But this just provides those that can't the opportunity to engage with the elections and to live the best life that they can. So I'd be willing to answer any questions, but ask you to please advance this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Boley. Committee, any questions of Mr. Boley? Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Just curious, do you see any other benefit to the bill other than voting? I mean, I think of like pharmaceutical orders or anything like that. Is there anything else that?
You know, Madam Chairman, I think it's a great question. And I think anywhere that ID is required, it provides benefit, and real ID is becoming more and more important as we see. And I don't think they're going to be traveling and taking an airline, but who knows? There might be that event, but they would have that at their disposal if they need to. And having traveled recently, I'm seeing where if they don't have real ID, it's $45 and all kinds of problems. I think the other thing that I would also mention, like here in Laramie County, if you go to the DMV, sometimes it's hours long wait, or if not longer. And even for those that can still get out from nursing homes and assisted living, that's a long wait sometimes. And sometimes you can make appointments, but sometimes it's first come, first serve. So I just think this provides a better opportunity for them to renew their IDs.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you for your testimony. Ma'am, please state your name and. we'll hear your testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Micah Richardson. I'm with the Wyoming Women's Foundation at the Wyoming Community Foundation, and we are also in support of this bill. As most of you could probably imagine, there are more women than men in our senior assisted living facilities, and really just going to echo what these gentlemen have already said. I think it's just such a great opportunity. Really appreciate the bringer of the bill and you all for listening to this, and I hope you take this opportunity to adopt this. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anyone else like to testify on House Bill 80? Okay, anybody online, Mr. Caldwell? Okay, I will close public comment on House Bill 80. Committee, what is your pleasure? Okay, the bill has been moved by Representative Thayer, second by Representative Wasserberger. Discussion, amendments. Would anybody like to consider moving the handout amendment? Okay, Representative Ottman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move the proposed amendment to House Bill 80. On page 4, to add on line 4, unless the last photo taken by the department is more than 16 years old. And then on line 8, insert personally identifiable after the. I think that'll do it.
Is there been seconded by Representative Thayer? Okay, discussion on the amendment. Seeing no discussion, question being called by a voice vote and a show of hands. All those in favor of Representative Ottman's amendment, please state aye. Okay. All opposed? Okay, that amendment has passed, and forgive me, Mr. Caldwell, I assume you have a copy of that. Thank you. All right. We are back on the bill. Discussion, further amendments on the bill. Okay, see none. Question being called by Representative Gugamas. Mr. Caldwell, if you'd call the roll on House Bill 80.
This is a roll call vote for House Bill 80 as amended. Representative Clouston.
Aye.
Representative Gugamas.
Aye.
Representative Heft.
Aye.
Representative McCann.
Aye.
Representative Ottman.
Aye.
Representative Thayer.
Aye.
Representative Wasserberger.
Aye.
Representative Yen has left an absentee vote form vote of aye. Chairman Rodriguez-Williams.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, that is 9 ayes.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. So committee, House Bill 80 has passed committee. Representative Jarvis, if you'd be prepared to present your bill on the floor, that would be great. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes all of the bills on today's agenda. Great work.
Yeah.
That is a record for this committee. We will convene on Monday morning at 8 a.m. and we'll hear 2 bills, which will be House Bill 117 and House Bill 126, which are calendared again for Monday. So meeting adjourned.